plate meat company. We home deliver grass-fed, organic and free-range produce that we source directly from Aussie farmers and deliver it to our customers' homes all across Australia.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And so has that been the model for the 3 years?
It's continuously evolved. The reason the business started was because as a farmer, you never really know what price you're going to get for your livestock. You're just at the whim of the big supermarkets. You're really a price taker. So, you know, we went onto our farm a couple of years ago. We went into a lot of debt to buy our farm. As a young person buying a property, you need to have sort of like 30 to 40, 50% deposit even to buy a rural property. So it's a massive amount of money that you need up front. And then you have to stock the place as well. So we went into debt for the property, and then we went into debt for livestock. And then we came into a horrible drought. It was one of Australia's worst droughts throughout 2018, 2019 and 2020. And then we also had a series of bushfires on our farm. So we were, you know, mortgaged up to our eyeballs. We were losing money on our livestock. It was really dry. We were running out of feed. The water supply was short. So we were just in a real predicament where we were forced to offload our livestock at a loss. And because we owed so much money on everything and we weren't making any money in return, it was just putting us into a bigger and bigger hole. And we sort of said to ourselves, well, we can't keep going on like this. This is really bad. And we needed to do something a little bit different to be able to guarantee ourselves the price for our livestock, because the input costs stay the same. When you're a farmer, you know, the costs are the same year in, year out. They go up more than anything. And we needed to be able to secure a price for the livestock that we were producing so we could in turn like be sustainable on the farm, know where we were going. And we sort of thought, well, the price of meat doesn't fluctuate anywhere near as much as the sale yard prices do, because when, you know, there's a drought or supply and demand and anything that to do with the weather, it fluctuates the market, the livestock market significantly. So you're always at the whim of the weather, and you know, you just really a price taker. You go to the auction on the day, you take your livestock and you just hope to God that someone's going to buy them and you're going to make a little bit of money at the end. So it's really difficult as a farmer to guarantee the price that you get for your livestock. So we wanted to firstly be able to do that for ourselves, and we knew if we could do that for ourselves on our own farm, there'd be so many other farmers in the exact same boat as us that are, you know, putting so much time, energy, effort, and money into producing livestock that they have no idea what price they're actually going to get for it. So that's sort of how it all started.
And surely that work of the negotiating and the prices and, you know, auctions is detracting from time that's spent running the farm. Like that's an entirely additional aspect of the business.
We've seen how much support there was, donated ridiculous amounts of money to aid. They wanted to do anything, but we didn't want people to feel like they had to have to donate to aid in order to help farmers. Like we wanted people in the city to have a way to support farmers every day through their food choices, not just donating in times of crisis. So we sort of thought, yeah, well, people are donating to aid. They want to support farmers. So let's give them an avenue to do that every day through their food choices and know that there's actually a farming family behind that steak that they're eating for dinner, or the, you know, whatever they're sitting down and enjoying a meal to. There's actually a farmer that's produced that hard-earned product. And I guess it's really rewarding as a farmer as well to know that there's a family enjoying something that you've produced, because not very often as a farmer do you know where your livestock actually end up. Like you sell them to the sale yards, or they get exported, or they go into a feedlot, and that's the end of it once they leave your property. But what we've been able to do is actually connect farmers to the people that are eating their food, and they're seeing that through social media. And it's just so rewarding as a farmer to know that there's a family in Melbourne sitting down and enjoying something that you've actually produced on your farm. It's really rewarding.
So there's the amount of traceability that farmers get a real direct sense of where that product is going.
Yeah, and it's amazing through social media. Like, you know, our customers will tag our farmers and their properties and their pages on, like, through us to go, thanks very much, Kim and Tony from Kamu Pastoral, for my beautiful lamb that I'm eating tonight, you know, like that. And that is really cool.
So the lamb turns up with this is like your name of the farmer and this is the farm. That's incredible, because I make sausages, and I've had farmer friends who have cows as well say, like, what's it like on the other end? Because it's so, we are so separate. And you get no sense of where anything's coming from. It just comes in the same way. You're just shipping it out. And then there's all the middle is so vast, but you've just completely collapsed that space.
Yeah, that's right. So every piece of meat that leaves us here has actually got the farmer's name on it. So you
Wow.
know who's produced it, what breed it is, where it's come from, and yeah, just paint that picture of that
Mm.
farmer.
I love that so much. It just makes it so much more immediate. And when you think about people respecting the meat, and particularly with free range meat, it makes it all much more real and immediate. I think when people are getting that level of detail, because you do want to see people be eating nose to tail and treating it all with the respect it deserves, and that can just be a bit of an abstract concept when it's just kind of on a shelf, and who knows.
Yeah, that's right. Like there is a lot of different ways that Australia produces meat. At the moment, about 80% of the meat that we consume in Australia comes from a feedlot. So knowing that you're actually supporting a farmer and free range, organic and
Mm,
grass-fed produce is so
mm,
much more important. It actually takes a lot more effort and time and money to raise an animal that is grass-fed, free range, organic. So, our product may be a little bit of a premium, but in comparison, it's actually much cheaper considering what you're getting, the health benefits of it. It's delivered to your door, it's cryovac, it's meal-sized portions. Like there's all these other conveniences that come with shopping with us as well as supporting a farmer.
Well, it's also an ethical way to consume meat, to know that you're making responsible choices for the animals as well as for the people who are looking after them.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So it's been going for 3 years. What does the trajectory look like? What's the big dream, or are you already living the dream?
Yeah, I think it's blue ocean at the moment. We've got so many opportunities to grow and expand. There's more and more people wanting to know where their food comes from. They want to support farmers. They want the convenience of home delivery. So it's a really exciting place to be. And I think the more that we grow, the more our product range will expand as well. Next year we're launching into seafood, and I'm sure there'll be other products that we import, bring into the business as well with the same ethics that what we currently have. So we're going directly to the source. We're making sure they're getting paid fairly. We're connecting them to the consumers at the other end. So it's just replicating what we're currently doing now across other product categories as well.
Mm. That's incredible. That's incredible. And so, because I was thinking about that with having, obviously, you're not just in beef, with the brand name being Our Cow, but it just start from a place of you're a cattle farmer, and so you were like, this cow, this is my cow.
Yeah, I guess the name kind of come about that it was ours. Like, it's
Mm,
mine, it's yours, it's our community, it's our farmers, it's all of us. So our cow is how the business name started, and I don't see the name changing. I think we've
mm,
just got a really strong brand name, and people really are starting to associate meat with our cow, which is
mm,
really cool.
mm.
Yeah, so the business will just keep evolving as we keep growing.
That's amazing. And so, how are you raising awareness with what's the outreach with the community? What's is it word of mouth? Are you digital campaigning? What's the approach?
Yeah, I guess we sort of have two different customers. What we've got our customers that buy our produce, in all the
Mm,
cities and the regional areas and everywhere that we deliver to. So we do lots of social stuff. We're very strong on social media, which I love because it just gives us a way to connect
mm,
directly to our customers. And I guess I probably take it for granted a little bit, the life that I live in comparison to the life that my customers live. I'm on a farm, I'm very rural, I have a big freezer with lots of meat in it. Customers are in cities, they're in high rises, they're in small apartments, and we have more farmers contacting us every day wanting to know how can they be a part, what do they need to do to
mm,
join us. So that's really cool to think that there's lots of farmers out there that do see a future in what we're trying to do. And it's word of mouth through the farming community. Everyone, talks to one another and they say, have you heard about Our Cow and what they're doing? And you can go direct to consumer. So it's pretty cool.
Initially, you've got all the momentum now where the farmers are approaching you, and that makes so much sense because you're really solving a problem for them. How did you start out initially with recruiting farmers?
We went to we actually ran out of meat when we first started. So we had this big vision. We were going to sell one body of beef and it was going to be amazing. And we actually had so many orders, more than what we could supply. So we initially went straight out to some other farmers and we're like, hey, this is what we're thinking. Do you want to be a part of it? Can you supply us? So it's just been from the start, like the very, very start, Dave and I have never had enough livestock ourselves to supply this giant monster that is now our cow. So we've always been really close with other farmers. I guess being in the farming network and the community, you just get talking to people and tell them what you're up to, and they want to be a part of it. So yeah.
That's a bit. So I saw you've got 40 people working on our account. That's massive. Is that a local workforce? Are you spread out? Are they farmers? What's kind of the mix of roles they're all performing?
Yeah, that workforce is just based here in Casino. So we have a big facility here where we've got butchers and meat packers and fulfillment staff, administration, customer service, marketing. There's a whole swag of us over there, packing the orders and preparing the products that we just dispatch out of here every day. So it's pretty amazing to think that we're fast becoming a really big regional employer as well, which is really cool. Being in a regional town, we're able to offer so many job opportunities to the town and in the community.
Yeah, it's absolutely outstanding. Have you got sort of the recognition from government and the support in that as a significant and growing local employer? Like, do they get it that you're building something really big here?
Yes and no. Like, we haven't sort of pursued, any major government assistance or anything like that. We've kind of gone under the radar, and I think because we're a new business still in a lot of people's eyes. So there's a lot of people just watching from the sidelines going, what's going on here is, and that's from everything from banks to council to government. They're just sort of watching, because in everyone else's eyes we're new, even though we've been going for a couple of years and we've had massive growth. We're still classified as this is different and what's going on. We'll just sit and watch. So yeah.
Well, I guess it's sort of like country tech. They're like, how does that work? It's all quite new. And the technology to make all of this work must have been incredibly important. Were they skills that you had in-house? How did you work out how to build a platform on this scale?
I have absolutely no idea. We started a website. We actually just started on Facebook advertising a bit of meat for sale on Facebook. Wow. And it's just grown from there. I have no experience in anything other than nothing. Really, I'm not qualified in anything. I come from beforehand, Dave and I were mining, so I was a machine operator, a bit of hospitality, bit of youth work, just nothing. No university. So we're really just making it up as we go.
Those are all incredibly transferable skills, though. I've worked in hospitality, and you really know your way around people after doing that. Yeah, certainly. And I'm sure mining, that's a very rich background. So, wow. And I guess, are you from a line of farmers? Is Dave from a line of farmers, or we're just like, this is something we want to do?
Yeah, Dave is. So Dave's family were banana and beef cattle farmers on the Gold Coast hinterland, and droughts and fire, floods and whatever else. They've sold all the family farms, and Dave really wanted to get back onto the farm one way or another. I'm not from a farming background. I grew up in Port Macquarie on the beach, and then met Dave, bought the farm, thought it was going to be amazing. This is going to be just rural life. It's going to be meat. It's going to be horseback and bloody sunset. It was so far from what I was thinking. We moved into a shed with no power, no running water. It was it rained for 3 months. I couldn't even go outside. I was like, this is so depressing. I don't think I can live here anymore. Dave used to hold the garden hose for me to wash my hair because we had no power, no water. It was proper roughing it. We lived off mandarins and Sayo biscuits for 2 months because we were so broke we couldn't afford to buy anything. So it was a big reality shock to get onto the farm to start with. And I have power, I have hot water. It's life has improved from those days, but we still live in the same shed. We're still living in the exact same place that we originally bought, and the same farm and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, we've got a few more luxuries.
But it's a nice shed now.
It is a nice shed.
You've upgraded the shed.
I have.
That's it. Do you, as someone who's really made the tree change, there's tree change and then there's starting a cattle farm, having come from the coast, what are your reflections on that? Is it, I suppose you enjoy it, you're doing it, but that's a massive shift. Are you where you need to be? Does it feel right to you?
I love it. I absolutely love it. I
Mm.
would never ever go back and live anywhere else other than a farm now. Like I love where we live. I love the secludedness of the farm and the peacefulness. Like it's just a different lifestyle. But it was a very big reality shift for me to move. I just bought a brand new house. Like, I was living in town, in the city, as a normal 21-year-old person, and then 23 we bought the farm. So I was, yeah, it was a big reality shock.
That is so young to make such a huge commitment. Well, so you must be incredibly young still, and you're running this big company.
Yeah, I'm 29, so I'll be 30 next year.
That is wild and extremely impressive. I hope you're very proud of yourself. People like don't achieve this in, a lifetime, and in your 20s, that's absolutely, yeah, off the hook.
I think as a business owner, and I'm starting to realize this now, like you never really give yourself enough time to sit back and reflect. Like people say that and you're like, you guys should be so proud. And you're like, yeah, we've got so much to do. We've got to keep going. You never really stop and go, holy shit, like this is actually amazing. We're employing all these people. We've got hundreds of farmers that supply us. We've got thousands of customers that we deliver to. Wow.
It's amazing. And like this is your first business is massive, and you're just straight out of the gates as someone who has gone through several iterations of businesses that have been like fine but just not something worth pursuing long term. It's like please take on board that it's to start something and even just pay yourself, let alone get to a place where you're scaling and employing 40 people and making such a difference in your local community and changing the lives and the profitability of farmers is truly incredible. And yeah, you should it's hard to stop and absorb it, but yeah, it's something to think about, because yeah, that's the whole board game. Something that is strong and stable and ongoing and that has a future is huge. But yeah, it's always easy to go, oh sure, but I really want to XYZ. Like there's the seafood and there's and I doesn't because you have to be relentlessly future focused as an entrepreneur.
That's right. Yeah. And you never stop. You're always what's next. So no, thank you. I do appreciate that. Thank you.
No, that's true. Well, it's just such a trap that we all find ourselves in, because you get the confidence, you go yeah. But yeah, it's a big one to take it on. So okay, I mean, shipping must have been wildly challenging in the last 3 years. So you've been majority operating pandemic. Well, how did the pandemic affect things? And I guess that it would have really changed because the distribution systems for meat changed hugely with all of the food service going away and direct to consumer suddenly booming. I guess the timing was quite incredible. But did things really explode then?
Yeah, we'd started before COVID, so we were already in a position where the business was growing significantly before COVID. So we were month on month, it was just bigger. And then overnight, when COVID hit in March, it was just absolutely unbelievable. We didn't know what had hit us. We were contemplating shutting our website down because we didn't know. People couldn't get food. People thought they were going to die. So it was just absolute mayhem. But we were lucky that we had already had the distribution set up before COVID hit. So we were able to take advantage of, I guess, the situation and help people stay at home, because that's what everyone was being forced to do. So we were lucky we were in a position where we could deliver quite timely. We were nationwide at that stage, so we could deliver all across Australia every day. And help as well, as much as we could when people were isolated and stuck at home. It really did boost our business significantly. And I guess the best part was it introduced us to a lot more people that may not have found us otherwise. And so many of those people have retained, and they're still customers of us now, that found us during COVID and the pandemic. And, 2 years later, they're some of our most VIP customers.
And so it feels like there's been a change since from before COVID, that people have permanently changed their habits.
I think so. Yeah, definitely. We're seeing more people wanting the convenience. Like during COVID, it was because they had to. But I think now that they've actually seen the convenience of having it delivered, it's good quality, it's easy for their family, and they've just decided to stick onto it. It's not like a COVID business where it's come and gone. It's something that people have really stuck to and continued to purchase through.
And so many people have trouble sort of with, meal planning or busy lives. And how do you kind of think about anticipating the needs of people in terms of what they want? Like I saw you've got the builder box and some easy. So is it that mix of it can be custom, or you can do some kind of quick options and get a range without having to think about it too much?
Yeah, it's just, I guess it's suitable for everybody, whether you're a quick, you need something quick and you don't want to have to think about it, you can choose one of our pre-built boxes, or if you've got a bit more time, you can select exactly what you want. It's just like going to the butcher shop or the supermarket, but you can do it from your own home. So it just gives more different people the flexibility that they're after.
And with specializing in the organic and the free range, and how do you see the future of that, and having longevity with the rise in alternative proteins? I mean, I very strongly think there's an ongoing role for that, but how do you see it fitting in?
Yeah, I guess what we've seen is that a lot more people are prepared to make a decision around meat if they know that it's sustainable and that it's ethical and it's humanely raised, and those, if it hits those value propositions for people. And we have seen quite a few people come to us that have been vegan or plant-based or vegetarian, and they feel better knowing that they're eating meat from a source like our cow in comparison to other avenues where they're not sure where it's come from or how it's raised or what it's been fed or what are the health impacts of feeding this to my family. They can trust and know that when they purchase through us, it's environmentally friendly, it's sustainable, it's ethical, it's grass-fed. It hits all of those, ticks all those boxes. So I think there may be always a place for plant-based products or whatever, but I think if we can give people the option to make an educated decision to choose a better option, then that is what they will go for. Because meat is always going to be a staple in majority of people's diet. So if we can just give them the option to make a better decision, then more people are choosing to do that.
Exceptional. So 10 years from having only been going for 3 years, and the growth you've seen is just staggering. But 10 years from now, do you have you looking out that far? Are you tackling it kind of because things are moving so quickly, or do you have that kind of horizon in mind?
We do have the horizon in mind, but I guess we're mindful that it is a very new business. The marketplace is consistently changing. So we want to remain nimble in our business and be able to change direction if we ever need to. So I think, we will continue to grow our subscription meat club. We have our subscription customers that are on board. We want to continue to grow that. We obviously want to continue supporting farmers and bringing on as many farmers as possible. And we think that the bigger that we can grow this business, the bigger impact we're going to have on the agricultural industry. And we really think that the more people that choose to eat meat through us or through our cow is going to have a significant impact on our climate and our environmental footprint going into the future. If more people are choosing to eat an ethical and grass-fed product, the climate impact is going to be much, much more significant than the path we're currently going down.
Completely agree. And you're making it a sustainable, sensible decision for farmers who might otherwise think, oh, this is getting a bit tricky, or I want to do this bit, but this bit is just a bit of to stay on the farm.
Yeah, that's right. And it gives them so many of our farmers, only recently one of our farmers said to us, since I've started supplying you, I can see a future for my kids on the farm. Because we're able to guarantee themselves an income. We can set prices for them. And he's got 3 daughters that love the farm, and when we first met him, he was considering splitting the farm and going down a corporate path. And now he said to us the other day, I can see a future for my kids, which is it gives me goosebumps to think about. And there are so many of our farmers at the moment that do phenomenal things, like just unbelievable, but they don't think of it any different to, I'm just running the farm. But if I went and said to them, are you a regenerative farmer or are you a dynamic farmer, they'll go, what the hell's that? But they go and plant 100,000 trees on their farm in a year. You know, it's just mind blowing, the stuff that we're seeing, and these farmers don't really think of it as anything other than, well, I need to look after my farm because I want the next generation to come on and for them to be successful and for them to have a good life just like what they've had. So, you know, there's so many untold stories of our farmers, and they're just doing unbelievable things, and we're really proud to be able to continue to support that.
It's fantastic what you're doing and making that a viable business proposition and something sustainable both for the customers and for the farmers. Just lastly, any advice if someone was going, you know, living in Port Macquarie, living in Adelaide, and just going, like, God, I really want to like start a farm, what would you say to them?
Go for it. Save a bit of money to start with, like, and you know, there's lots of different things that you can do now, you know, share farming or leasing property. So, you know, absolutely go for it. It is the best lifestyle you will ever have. And you just embrace it with two hands and just take on board everything that you experience and listen to the people around you. That's one thing that I've tried to do my hardest, is listen to other people who are in my industry and just be the dumbest person in the room, because they've got so much knowledge, and if you're just a sponge and you can soak it all up, it helps.
Amazing. And do you get a chance to touch a lot of cows? Are you still like hands-on with the cow?
Yeah, we're at the farm pretty regularly, which is nice. Like, I still, you know, love the farm, and yeah, wouldn't change it.
That's wonderful.